Netanyahu must be removed, top former Israeli national security officials say.
Here's a summary of the article.
Related article: Israeli government divisions deepen as cabinet minister says defeating Hamas is unrealistic. Torrential rain adds to the misery of Gaza's displaced.
This post received a score of 5,400, with an upvote ratio of 92%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
He's failed so fundamentally on so many issues, he's obviously not fit to govern.
I'm not saying this just about Israel. It's odd to me when people who were in charge when an attack happened, then have to lead the response, especially considering all the previous incentives. It works out fine sometimes. Other times puts you into a spiral which sets your foreign policy back decades, and pushes people toward the wrong lessons learned. FDR said, "Don't change horses in midstream," when he ran for re-election during World War II. I'd almost always agree when the other side started it. But this a definite exception. Everyone is loyal there, and there are many who'd be more effective and more moral, which is largely the same thing. With Bibi's support in the cellar, I would imagine the Knesset could handle it without an election. To quote Netanyahu, "A PM up to his neck in investigations has no mandate," said back when former Israeli PM Ehud Olmert was being investigated back in 2008 over corruption. There's a lot to be said that his inaction over ministers that have said and continue to say terrible things was what the ICJ correctly focused on. But of course, to quote Netanyahu once again in the week after October 7, "What will my government be in 3 months?" Turns out, 3 months later and it's still the same clowns.
Obvious statement is obvious.
Even Golda Meir only resigned after the Yom Kippur War. Boo, no, fuck this guy. He's been botching hostage negotiations for weeks now, is damaging foreign relations, still hasn't decided what he wants to do with Gaza after the war, and is clearly too weak or corrupt to stop his circus coalition from reigning in their insanity. I truly, 100% believe that having this clown in charge does us more damage than having elections in the middle of a war would. The Yom Kippur War comparison is no longer apt because that war was much shorter.
Greater than I think for many Israelis who want him gone anyway. The only asterisk is that a change of government during wartime seems iffy. The thing is, Netanyahu obviously realizes this, and being a cynical, self-interested piece of shit, it is totally within the realm of possibility that he would try to extend the war as long as possible, or put his thumb on the war with Hezbollah scale, in order to prolong the next election. Far-right would be on board with either scenario because they invented the halakhic loophole that it's okay to jack off to IDF combat footage. It's been decades since their balls were this empty, and they don't ever want to go back to swole.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.